in the Philippines. I mean, when was the last time you were here?
The last time was maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
That was before pandemic.
Before craziness set in, yes.
Yeah. So, since you've been here in the Philippines, do you have any favorite Tagalog word?
Tagalog word?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, mahal kita is not a word.
Oh.
It's
Oh, we love you too. Thank you, Sir David. So, mahal kita is one of his favorite words. Thank you so much. So, since we're here for the press con po, before we give the floor to our friends from the media, let me just announce first the dates of your upcoming shows here in this coming December. So these are Zamboanga at KCC Convention Center on December 3rd, Cagayan de Oro at the Linkatkai Mall on December 4th, Pangasinan at the Pan Pacific University Events Center on December 5th, Manila at the Newport Performing Arts on December 8th, Bicol at the Albay Astrodome on December 10th, Calapan Mindoro at the Calapan City Convention Center on December 12th, Maguindanao del Sur at the Mango Grove at the South on December 13th, Ormoc Leyte at the City Plaza Grand Staircase on December 14th, Tacloban Leyte at the Grand Ballroom of the Summit Hotel on December 15th, Samar at the Calbayog City Sports Center on December 17th, and last, Iloilo at the Iloilo Convention Center on December 19th. Wow, so that's a total of 11 shows. So imagine that. Wow. Can we give him a round of applause, please? 11 shows. Fantastic. So yeah, we would like also thank the Dick Medina at the Royal Care Venue for hosting this press conference with Dr. Carl Balita Productions. Also, a warm gratitude to the PSSG Kadangan, PAT Bacani, and Police Corporal Tomondong for assuring David's security during this trip. So, joining us today, our producers, Abet and Annie Gapito of CBRC Bicol. Sir. Randy Boco and Abby De La Raya of Elementia. Mark Manalang of Ultimate Shows Incorporated, Jesse Cambosa and Wade Verona of DMC Philippines, and Granch Ori and April Rose Valenzuela of Echo Jam. So these are but a few of our producers and promoters of David Pomeranz Coming Home Tour in the Philippines. Let us all give them a round of applause, please. So thank you so much for giving the gift of David Pomeranz to us. Okay, so to proceed with our press and media, I would like to acknowledge, of course, some of our friends from the media attending via Zoom. So these are from Iloilo, Mr. Mel Aguilar. Can you please open your camera so we can see you? Okay. Okay, so now, may I call on the President of the Society of Philippine Entertainment Editors, or SPEED, to help us lead the questions from our friends from the media. Help me welcome Mr. Eugene Ashes.
Sorry naman dito, Eugene. Facility.
Very famous. Very famous.
From America. Anyway, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
You still look young. Well, thanks. The last time I saw you, still the same. Still the same.
I told you that.
Anyway, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, people from the press. So we are honored to be with Mr. David Pomeranz this afternoon. And so, who will ask the first question? The first question will be coming from Leia Salterio of abscbn.com.
Hi, good afternoon. It's
Hi,
nice
Leia.
to see you again
Good to see
here.
you.
Wow, 41 times.
Yeah, yes,
Wow,
it's true.
I'm surprised that you really kept count of all your performances.
It's not exact, but it's something like that. Yeah, it's been many times since 1983.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, you seem to be making up for lost time with all your schedules here
This one.
in this visit. Like 11 shows.
Well, it's 11 shows.
Have
This-
you been to these provinces that you'll be performing in?
Yes, most of them, yeah.
Really?
I've been. This is the concept of this is kind of a dream that I had because it's been literally 40 years since I first came. I was invited here to sing. Here. I was invited in 1983 to sing at the Folk Arts Theater.
Yes.
I was with Stephen Bishop,
Oh.
Michael Johnson, right? And we all came to sing, and we all fell in love with the country, right?
Yes.
But since then, things have transpired so that we've had an actual love affair, and
Exactly.
it's been a blessing for me, for my family, for so many years. And I thought, my goodness, it's 40 years.
Exactly.
Let's have a party. And that's why I'm here. And that's what I decided to do. I got in touch with Mr. Manala, Mr. Balita, and we're putting on a party. That's why I'm doing this.
All right. How did they convince you to hold 11 shows?
To do what? How many?
To hold 11 shows?
I didn't need convincing. I wanted to play for everyone.
Right.
It sounds corny, but it's true. It's a thank you. It's a thank you. I wanted to see as many people as I can.
And you have been here 5 years ago. You really
Yeah,
have to know.
I was here. I was here.
2018, 20, around the time.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was some.
Alright.
We did some touring. Yeah.
We'll go
I was here with Melissa Manchester in what was it, the 2017, and then here and there.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you too.
See you.
Thanks, Leah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Leah. Anyway, second one to ask question is Mr. Nestor Cuartero. He's from the Manila Bulletin.
Hello, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Are you on a world tour? Is this part of an ongoing international tour?
No, this is for the Philippines. This is special for the Philippines. I was in Australia yesterday.
Wow.
We did 3 shows, 2 in Perth and 1 in Sydney, for Filipinos. So that was, I could say that's part of this. Yes.
So that makes a total of, on this swing, that's a total of 14
Yeah.
shows?
Yeah.
Where do you get the energy for all of this?
I'm not sure. We'll see. No, I don't know. You know, it's going to be an adventure because it's very tight. It's very dense. And all the dance.
Yeah.
But I'm prepared because as long as I get my sleep and my exercise and my vitamins and my food, I'm going to do that and then get on the stage every night and have fun.
Tell us about those things so we can learn.
About which things?
Your diet, your exercise,
Preparing?
everything.
Well, I have funny food allergies sometimes, so I can't eat certain things like pepper. But mostly the things that are high carbohydrate foods. When I'm singing, I don't do well with them, and I love them. So if I wasn't a singer, I would be eating spaghetti every day and pizza, and because who wouldn't, right? But when I'm performing, I really go into a zone, you know, like I'm an athlete. I've always done that ever since I was a little boy. Or I'm not a little boy, but ever since I started this, when I was 18, is when I started doing this, making records and such. I go into a zone, and you know, it's all about being on the stage. You know, you get ready for it, and there you are. You have to be prepared. You can't go on sleepy. You can't go on with funny things in your throat. It's not fair to anybody.
I meant to ask, what is it about the Philippines you think that makes the people love you?
You know, I think it has something to do with our mutual love for the beautiful melody. I always, I was raised in New York City, or in New York, and Long Island, and my parents would take me to Broadway shows as a very little boy. And when I was, actually, I'll tell you very quickly the story. When I was 5, they played for me, my parents played for me the West Side Story original cast album, Broadway album. And I sat there on the floor of my den as a little tiny kid, and I wept at the depth of the beauty of that work. Leonard Bernstein, Stephen Sondheim, and I just sobbed. I actually compared now as if it was yesterday. And that reverence, it's almost religious for me, for beautiful music, emotional music. And I think that's something that we share.
Yeah.
There's something about the Filipino tradition, ear, I don't know what you would even call it, but you get it.
Yes.
So we both share it.
Yeah, we share a common, perhaps, sentimentality.
Perhaps it's a good word. It's in a certain sense, sentimental in a good sense. Because that word sometimes people go, oh, that's so sentimental. Oh, God. Right? They misunderstand. That's a different meaning. But yes, you're right.
Last question.
Sure.
Do you write your own songs?
I write most of them. Some of them I co-write, and some of them I don't write.
I mean, do you write new songs?
What do you say, new songs? I'm sorry. Yes, I'm working on a stage musical, and it has something to do with the Philippines.
Tell us about it.
I can't. I will be shocked. No, I know. I only because I have to. But it's something I've been working on for some time, and I'm working on it with a Filipina book writer named Lisa Mactoto. Do you know her?
Yes.
She wrote. What is that? It's been playing at the Resorts World.
Rock of Ages?
No, Rock of Ages, yeah.
Yeah.
But also the other one at Resorts World that plays over and over, Bimbo.
Buling.
Yes. So she wrote the scripts for these shows. And she's very, very talented. And very good. And she speaks English very well, and I don't speak Tagalog very well. And so we get along very closely, and we work long distance. You know, I'm writing music and lyrics, and she's writing a script.
Well, we look forward to the music.
Thank you.
Hopefully in 2024.
Hopefully, yes. You know, theater, many of you know this because you're writers. Theater takes time, takes more time. There's lots of rewriting. You write songs, you throw them out, you see it in front of an audience or a workshop audience, or a workshop, and you see what works. And with the idea that the show is everything. So you throw songs out that you love, have to write another one, or whatever. You know, it's like that. But so hopefully 2024, yes, if all goes smoothly, yes.
Best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next to ask question is our beloved Mr. Mario Bautista of where's Mario? Okay, Mario Bautista of Malaya, People's Journal, and Showbiz Portal.
Hello, David.
Yeah.
I know you performed with a lot of big acts before, like Billy Joel and Rod Stewart, even The Doors. These
Yes.
are all legends. So how was it?
Well, in those days, I was the opening act.
Yeah.
You know, so it
So
wasn't like
you
I was
were very-
performing with them, but I would share the tour with them. And that's great. My goodness, I remember touring with Steve Martin. When Steve Martin first became a performing star. He wasn't a movie actor yet.
Yeah.
And so I would see every one of his shows. Bang, bang, every one. Who else like that?
I mean,
yeah.
do they have heirs of their own, or were they very accommodating to you considering that you were starting? How was it?
Say again, I'm sorry, say again.
I'd like to know more of them. How did they treat you since you're a newcomer, you're the pronta?
That's a good question. Very nicely. I toured with the Carpenters And I was their opening act for a while. And they had a private plane. And so it was not a bus tour, it was a chartered plane tour. And one day, this is true, Karen Carpenter called me to the front of the plane, and she was flying it.
Oh!
Yeah. She said, sit down. She had the headphones, and she was going, oh my God. So we've had a lot of adventure. But you know, that was the cushiest tour. My goodness, there were lots of those. Yeah.
Since you're a fan of West Side Story, what do you think of Spielberg's version of his remake of the movie?
Oh, I like it a lot.
Are you like it?
Different,
Yeah, very.
right? Is everyone familiar with West Side Story? The music in it. And Steven Spielberg did a very interesting thing. The most interesting thing was giving Rita Moreno, who was in the original movie, the song Somewhere, which was not in the original movie. That character did not sing Somewhere. It was another thing.
But you like the Robert Wise version also?
Yes, I did because Jerome Robbins, who was the choreographer on Broadway and the original director, you know, all those great, you know, I should stand up for this. You know, those great actions, the dancing, where the jets are in perfect line and they're snapping toward the camera and they're walking to the camera. That was brand new, brand new. I mean, it's electrifying what Jerome Robbins did. And the Spielberg version had a different take on it. And I didn't care for that as much. But I thought it was very brave. It's like reinventing the Mona Lisa, you know. Let's do it again. Let's paint that again.
But Richard Beamer and Natalie Wood didn't use their own voices for the movie. Unlike your Richard Segler, and they sang their own songs. How do you feel about it? That the performers in Spielberg's version are using their own voices?
Oh yes, versus the original movie.
Yes.
Well, that's the way it should be, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when in Hollywood where they used the big stars who did not sing well, particularly, and they dubbed their voice with someone else. And that's fine, but it's better, I'm sure.
And
More
Spielberg's
organic.
version of I Wanna Be in America is definitely much better than the old version. That's my opinion.
Anyone? Yeah, sure. Although Rita Moreno, who did it in the original,
Yes.
that song, was pretty great too. But
You had your own musical, Scandalous, right?
yes, I've written 7 stage musicals,
Yeah.
and Scandalous. That was the one that made it to Broadway so far. So we're still working on those. Yeah, getting more.
This new work that you're doing, this new musical, eventually you intend to stage it here first and then do it off Broadway
Yes,
and then Broadway?
exactly. Exactly.
Will it have Filipino performers?
Yes.
Ooh, we look forward to that.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
we wish you a very great show as you tour the Philippines.
Thank you.
Happy 41st anniversary in years wishing 41 years more.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maui Bautista. Although Mr. Lars Santiago wants to have you on a one-on-one, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
I'm traveling from there to
It's
here.
God is speaking
Sorry.
from the chandelier.
Oh,
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, but
okay. Mr. Lars Santiago of GMA 7 would want to ask one question.
oh, great.
Hi, David.
Hi.
Happy 40th anniversary.
Thank you.
So, would you say that in the theater musical that you're writing right now, you are also influenced by West Side Story, since this is the first musical? Yeah.
Well, West Side Story influences me with everything I do. But no, this one is it's got all sorts of styles of music in it it's got rock music in it. I mean, Filipinos know me as a ballad singer, and I am, but I started as more of a rocker, believe it or not. And so there's that in this one. There's some jazzy things in it. There's some beautiful ballads in it, all sorts of things. But again, with theater, it's got to be appropriate. You can't stick something in there for a hit because the audience smells that. Do you know what I mean? They know it's not honest. They say, oh, there's the song. They want to be a hit. I'm going to wait till it's over, and then they'll resume the story. It's got to be organic to the story. So that's the lesson when I write these things, is learning how to do that. It's very difficult, but it's great fun. When you get it right, it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So you
Thank you very much. Just one question, curious me. Who is your favorite rock artist?
rock artist?
Yeah, band or individual?
Ooh. Wow. I have favorite rock and pop records. Individual records. But in terms of bands or artists, I like anything good. I know that sounds like a glib non-answer, but for instance, one of my favorite records is Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. Don't ask me why. I don't know. So individual records knock me out. Certain records just knock me out, and because they're well done, they're well produced. I like who's the guy? Charlie Puth's record, Left and Right. Do you know the song? You know the record? Love keeps doing me left and right. I can feel it over here, feel it over here. And what he does is he takes in the studio. They call it panning. They take the track of the vocal that's going. You can feel it over here. You can pan it, feel it over here. When you listen to the stereo mix, that's what he's doing. It's genius. It's so simple. It is genius. So I guess that's my answer. It's like whatever influences me does. And look, and in terms of the actual answer to your question, I love Billy Joel. In terms of a body of work, he constantly knocks me out.
Are you friends?
No. I met him the one time when we played on the same bill together. But no, I don't know him. Although we're both from Long Island, but we should know each other, but I don't know. But he's good. He's good.
Great.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Mario Bautista can't get enough of you, so he has another
So
question.
I'm just curious, are you still staying in Long Island or are you based somewhere else?
No, I'm in Florida now.
Oh.
It's Clearwater, Florida, which is outside of Tampa. Very nice.
You want it warm. You want it warm.
It's not that. My wife and I study Scientology.
Oh.
And we for many years, and there's a particularly a large Scientology organization in Clearwater that does certain levels of this thing that we love to do. It's only given in Clearwater, so we decided to move there, which works perfectly because the airport is easy, and I live on an airplane anyway, so why not?
I've read Dianetics and so I'm sure you're familiar with this one.
Yes, I am. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah, very sensible.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, you performed in Gorky Park, in the Kremlin. So
Yeah.
how is it to sing for the Russians?
That was great. I sang with, I wrote and sang with a guy called Sasha Malinin, who is a Russian star. This is in the late 80s, early 90s. And I wrote a song called Far Away Lands. And Far Away Lands, I wrote it with Peter Schless, who wrote On the Wings of Love. And he and I were dear, dear friends. We wrote this song about the relationship between the U.S. and Russia at the time when it was the Soviet Union. And U.S. and Russia, well, it's true now too, that it was particularly the Cold War. And so it was just about ending. So Peter and I wrote the song, and it says, faraway lands, faraway places, used to be oceans separating our shores, but touching the hands and finding the faces, somehow there's just no far away anymore. It's a beautiful, beautiful arch ballad. So we recorded that in Moscow. Did the tracks in LA, recorded the duet in Moscow
With Sasha.
with Sasha. At the state studio called Melodia is one studio. What, do you know? Yeah, you've been.
No,
Yeah.
I've heard about
But it was one actual studio. Now everyone's got a studio, so it's not the same. So we went there. It's a long, many long stories I could share with you at some point. But so that was the thing. And then one of the things that we did actually was for the release of the book Dianetics. Interestingly enough, in Moscow, we did the release party in the Kremlin, which was a trip to be in the Kremlin singing. That was great.
My last question.
Yes.
Your songs, Got to Believe in Magic and King of Hearts,
Yes.
are very popular here because of the movie Zap.
Yes.
But I know you didn't write them.
That's right.
So who are the authors of this very popular?
I'm so glad you said that. Look, the answer is it was written by Charles Fox and Stephen Geyer. And Charlie Fox wrote Killing Me Softly with his song. Ready to Take a Chance Again. I mean, he just one of the best writers ever. And I was the guy that they asked to sing the song in the movie, Zapped. And the record that came out from Zapped was me. So I've been very honored to be associated with that song. But I'm so glad you said that, because every chance I get, I credit them. Because, Charlie, come on, Killing Me Softly with his song. And Got to Believe in Magic. If you really look at the chords, they're not dissimilar. They're very well done. Brilliant. Anyway, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You know, I would want to know, how was it? You mentioned a while ago kasi you started as a rocker. How did it feel for you when you actually transitioned to a balladeer? You know, how did it feel like your purpose, your main mission in a prior reincarnation as an artist is to be a rocker, but then you eventually found fame, found success as a balladeer. So how did the transition came about?
Well, you're a performer, you're a singer?
Used to.
What?
Used to, sir. Used to.
You used to, but you do. You've done it.
Yeah, of course.
So what I'm going to say, you will relate to.
Okay.
It's music. It's music.
Everything just.
Yeah. I didn't set out to be just this or that or that. I want music. Give me. And so I play drums and stuff. So I have a natural rhythmic thing, which excites me. So that harder thing. I love records that have a nice poppy, cracky snare drum. The things that you love, right? And yet I love the beautiful melodies. So there it is. I love everything when it's well done.
Okay. Also, just to follow it up, you mentioned like performances of colorful 70s, and you're still around. We see you, and you're still being so passionate about what you do. So how do you keep that fire burning through the years?
Well, I love it.
It's the love.
Sure. It doesn't die. If it died, I might die. I don't know. I can't imagine. God, it just made me sad to say that. Let's not be so dramatic. But it's probably true. Because it's what I love the most of all about being alive in this body is music. Yeah, so grateful.
You've been here several times, sir. Are there any memorable instances, anecdotes, stories that you'd like to share through the years that you've been here, like the more memorable ones?
Stories of
Just maybe one or two, you know.
my goodness. Ooh, wow.
Throwback.
Yeah.
Going back to
Throwback.
a throwback. Let's have throwback music.
I remember.
1827. Oh man. God, I could give you anything. Well, one of the sure. Well, here's when I made my first album. I was on Decca Records in 1970. I made my first album.
Oh.
Yeah, I was what was I, 19 years old or something. And my parents had us sign the Guardian. They had to sign my record contract because I wasn't of age yet. And what I remember, what was notable, is I was in New York City and I rented myself a room because life is noisy, right? You know, and there's telephones and there's friends and television and all that. So I rented myself a room. It was padded and it had a broken kind of a funky piano in it, acoustic piano, small. We had cigarette burns on it, you know. And I locked myself in there and wrote an album. Just every day I go in and bang, bang, bang. That was fun. And I've done that actually a few times, real quickly. I did it, I wrote a musical about Charlie Chaplin. And I went to San Francisco, north of San Francisco, and rented a little cottage with a funky mattress on the floor and no media, and closed the door and wrote a 2-hour musical in 3 months. Just actually, the first draft of it was maybe 6 weeks in this little house. And so I guess what I'm saying is that those have been the most memorable times where I'm actually sitting, and I'm sitting with myself and my muse, whatever it is, and I'm trusting that something's going to be there, and I allow it to be there, and I give myself an environment that lets it just come out. Because it's so easy to go, oh, I gotta go, I got a meeting, you know, just take that away, and like that. So those have been some of my most favorite moments. I'll think of one more. When we took Scandalous to Broadway, I stood on the theater stage. We were rehearsals, and this particular Broadway theater it's the Neil Simon Theater, and it was called the Alvin back in the day. And Porgy and Bess, who knows Porgy and Bess? Do you know that? It's a musical, it's an opera that George Gershwin wrote in the 30s, right? Summertime and living is easy. I mean, genius, crazy genius. And it premiered in that theater that we had our show. And there was that moment where I was standing on the stage, and there's the orchestra pit. Whoa, here it goes. And George Gershwin himself was in that pit. And I'm sure he was conducting right there. And there was that moment of, he was right there. And he ran on the stage. In this stage, beat up stage from the 1920s and 30s. Things like that, you know, chilly things.
You were
that they come to.
performing then? You were performing?
I was not in it, no. I wrote the music. I co-wrote the music. The lyric was written by Kathy Lee Gifford, who was famous on the Today Show. She was the host of the Today Show. And you get that here, I think.
But the idea of George Gershwin right in front of you, right at that moment.
Yeah, man, that was,
stuff.
yeah, sure. So I wrote the music for that, yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Really amazing. Thank you very much. Anyway, the next one we will ask 8 questions. I don't know, 1 or 2 is very sentimental about your music. It's Don Don Sermino. he cries whenever he hears you.
I don't have any question. And I just want you to know that I'm so happy and excited to see you for the first time because your songs are my favorite songs, like "Got to Believe in Magic." But anyway, do you have any theme song for your Filipino fans?
Anywhere?
Do you have any theme song or favorite song for your Filipino fans, and why is that?
Oh, for my fans. Well, there's an earlier song I wrote called "If You Walked Away," and that's how I know Mr. Manala. Mark Manala is one of two producers, 2 or 3 producers. But you're the main producer. We've been friends for many years. He's produced so many concerts with me and for me, and that's how we met because he was a disc jockey, and he liked "If You Walked Away." And this is in my album from the 70s, right? Before I re-recorded it with Sharon Cuneta, right? So I think that one is one of my favorites. And then "Born for You." And "On This Day" is a favorite of mine to sing on the stage.
Ay, tarong na kay Johnny Dong.
Okay, thank you very much.
Siya pala yung magsasample.
No, thank you very much. And the next question will come from Albert, I believe again.
Pinasa mo talaga.
I
Towards the last
Okay.
Anyway, next one.